Their life in exile is about to end. It's been 5 years since they arrived in Lebanon. The Ramadan family is preparing to return to Syria now that the war is winding down.
Our house is still standing. It needs some repairs, but it is better than living in a tent. And our relatives told us our village now has electricity and water.
Some 3,000 Syrians will be leaving the border town of Arsal, mainly to the Qalamoun region, just behind the mountains. It will be the second batch of voluntary returns in recent weeks. Many complain about what they describe as unbearable conditions in the camps.
We are paying for rent, electricity, garbage collection, all from the $27 each person gets a month from the UN. It's not enough. That's why we want to go home.
The United Nations refuses to organize returns. It says conditions are still not suitable. Many of the refugees escaped political persecution when they left Syria, and there is a need for security guarantees.
We all want to return, but conditions need to be put in place. The people from Qalamoun have a different situation than ours. Some of their family members are still there. In our town, Khodr, the population as a whole was displaced. Everyone should be able to return with guarantees.
The estimated 1.5 million Syrian refugees in Lebanon have been an economic burden. Officials here would like to see more returning home as more opposition areas come under government control. But there are problems. Many of the refugees do not have homes to return to. Towns and villages have been reduced to rubble by the fighting, and the international community is withholding reconstruction money. It is using it as leverage to force the Syrian government into making political compromises. That may not happen soon, and that is concerning refugees because some Lebanese politicians are making life more difficult for them. They want to cancel the refugee status of those who travel to and from Syria, classifying them as economic migrants.
I am not wanted by the Syrian government for any wrongdoing, but if I go back now, I have no way of feeding my children. I may have little choice. Lebanese security is refusing to renew my residency papers. They say I should go back.
Human rights groups say there have been cases of refugees being pressured. Lebanon denies forcing anyone to leave. That may be true for the Ramadan family, who like others want to return and to escape the life of misery in these camps. But they still worry about a life of misery in Syria, where there are fears about safety and economic security. Zeina, Khodr, Al Jazeera, Arsal, Northeast Lebanon.